as promised, we have the statistics for the opening of precincts nationwide. The general impression is that voting opened in all clustered precincts nationwide. However, we are still confirming of opening in several places, but Region 2, all clustered precincts opened except Isabela. Region 3, all clustered precincts except a few in Zambales. Region 4A, all clustered precincts open. 4B, all clustered precincts open. Region 6, all clustered precincts open. Region 7, all clustered precincts open. Except in Naga City in Cebu. And then Region 8, all clustered precincts open except in Samar. In Mindanao, Davao City, Davao del Sur, and Davao del Norte, all clustered precincts open except in Compostela Valley. Region 12, all clustered precincts except Sultan Kudarat. The rest are ongoing confirmation. Those that did not have reported open precincts are being confirmed now whether or not they are functioning. But again, the general sense is that they are all functioning. We just haven't been able to hear from them yet. We understand that the perception is that there are a lot of VCMs that have malfunctioned. Right now, I can tell you that the estimate is about 400 to 600 VCMs out of 85,000 have experienced issues. It could be bigger, it could be smaller, but that is the estimate I have right now. Again, I am not going off of any official report, simply reports from monitors in the field. Again, we're looking at the scope of problem of 400 to 600 VCMs experiencing issues currently. Again, 400 to 600 out of 85,700 plus VCMs that are actually in operation. With regard to overseas voting, as reported by the Office for Overseas Voting, ballots for postal mode of voting were delivered 100% as of the day. Regarding the incident earlier today with former VP Binay, I would like to turn it over to Director Arabe, who accompanied Mayor Binay to Makati to resolve the problem.
We accompanied VP Binay to check on the facts as to why his ballot was rejected. And when we reached the precinct, the electoral board are already in possession of a new or a replacement VCM. And there were already around 49 more, or a total of 51 ballots that were waiting to be fed into the machine. As for the ballot of VP Binay and another voter, it was found to be dirty. So the electoral board decided to replace his ballot along with another voter. And the rest of the ballots, 49 ballots, were refed to the machine. He was allowed to vote, to fill out the new ballot along with another voter.
All right. Are there any questions? Microphone.
Good afternoon, just a clarification on the case of former VP Binay. Because we were told that it's just one ballot per voter that's allocated. How long we were allowed, or two people were allowed to get a new ballot and to cast their vote again?
That is the general rule. The exception is when the reason for the rejection of the ballot is not due to the fault of the voter, in which case the electoral board will give a replacement ballot to the voter. Dito sa case ni former VP Binay, yung balota niya nalaglag dahil dinumog ng tao yung electoral board nung hindi siya ayaw tanggapin ng machine. So yung ballot niya at saka isa pang ballot ay nadumihan. So hindi na siya tinatanggap ng machine. They had to give him a replacement ballot. So obviously hindi naman niya kasalanan. Pero yun, nabigyan na siya ng panibagong ballot to replace the other one.
Ma'am, still on that issue, may we just clarify yung process po for batch refeeding? Kasi may mga cases na umuwi na po yung voters kapag sinabing hindi mababasa yung balota. Like for example, in the case of VP Binay, umuwi na siya, pero pinuntahan pa raw siya. So, how will the batch refeeding be like? Di ba po dapat yung voter mismo will witness yung pag-feed ng balota niya? Paano po kapag nakauwi na? How can we secure the integrity of the ballot still?
This happens when the VCM machine does not function. So, the voters are given an option to wait for the replacement ballot or to cast their votes and give their ballots or entrust their ballots to the electoral board. Gaya nga dito, VP Binay decided to personally feed yung ballot niya, while the rest, they decided to leave their ballots in the custody of the electoral board. These ballots are secured, they are placed in an envelope by the electoral board, and it is done in the presence of the watchers.
Ma'am, Dina Panganiban Perez po from GMA. Ma'am, we were able, one of our reporters in the field were able to interview a voter who was asked by a BEI to thumb mark the ballot. So, nire-check, syempre ng BCM. That's not the fault of the voter. So, yun, pwede siyang mabigyan din ng replacement ballot.
Ang sinasabi kasi namin not due to the fault of the voter at external factors, like say mali yung balota dahil ito ay balot na dapat sa ibang presinto, or there are certain marks or defects during the printing of the ballot. In this case, pag ganitong situation, we will replace the ballot kasi external naman yung reason eh. But in this case, it's the voter himself or herself who affix yung thumb mark niya doon sa ballot.
Ma'am, pero kasi inutusan po siya ng BEI.
Oo nga, that's what I heard. So this is a matter which is decided upon by the electoral board. On election day kasi sila na yung nagdidesisyon sa loob ng presinto nila.
So, ma'am, kasi there might be instances where the BEI is at fault and then magro-rule sila against the voter. Kasi kunyari ako, I'm a voter. Tapos inutusan ako ng BEI na mag-top print ng ballot ko, susunod po ako. Because BEI po yun. So, I would say that's not my fault and I deserve another ballot.
This is, pag ganun yung decision ng electoral board, no, the voter can go to their election officer and appeal the matter.
Thank you po.
Ma'am, Ana for best. Yung for refeed po ng mga ballots, kasi nga may sila yung iniwan sa BI, may chance po ba yung mga botante na mabigyan ng pagkakataon na makita yung receipt or wala na po? Risk basis sa refeed po, makikita pa nila yung receipt na hindi
Yung
na
mga
po.
umalis na?
Yes po.
Hindi na, kasi it will be dropped in the box ng receptacle for the vote receipts.
Ma'am, na-mention natin there are 400 to 600 po yung estimated po natin na may issue po doon sa BCM. Gaano po kadami yung contingency po ng Comelec ng BCM po?
Yung pag-distribute namin ng contingencies depending upon the voting population also of the area. So proportionate siya. According to our records, we have 9,000 BCM contingency nationwide.
Nationwide po.
Attorney Arabe, just clarify lamang po, sabi ninyo kanina, yung nag-use kay dating PBNI, nalaglag yung ballot niya, so naging madumi. Pero, sabi ni Direct James kanina, ang naging problema is the BCM. Alin po tayo?
When it began with the machine, that's why he was not he tried to insert the ballot into the machine in 8 different orientations, and it was rejected by the machine. He had it in the minutes, yung kanyang complaint, and then followed by another voter and succeeding voters, hindi na talaga tinatanggap ng machine. So that is the time that the electoral board realized that the problem is the machine. So lahat ng mga succeeding voters, they were given the option to leave their ballots while the replacement BCM is being requested. And then, while waiting for the replay out, nung nangyari sa yun, nung ayaw tanggapin niya yung balot niya, nagkagulo na sa presinto pumasok na yung media, natumba daw yung mga papeles doon nalaglag sa sahig. That is why some of the ballots were nadumihan siya.
Sir, good afternoon. Sir, Gerald from Malaya. Sir, clarify ko lang, yung mga minention nyo na areas na hindi nag-open. Clarify ko lang po, if buong province po ba yun, like for example, Isabela, province or certain precincts lang?
Certain precincts lang sila.
Certain, may estimate po kayo?
Right now, wala silang na-provide na estimate sa akin. For instance, for Isabela, 1,470 out of 1,485 the figure that they gave. So you're looking at, what, 15 precincts only. Ang still for confirmation as to whether or not they open. But again, the sense is that they all open.
So late lang?
Late lang. Baka late lang.
Sir, will we consider yung extending yung voting period, voting hours dun sa areas na?
We feel that extension is not necessary. Formal extension of tacking on extra hours to the end of the voting day. It's not necessary because the voting hours are, by design, already flexible. Like if you're already there at 6 p.m. and you're able to get your name on the list, then you will be able to complete your voting process no matter how long it takes. So walang necessity for tacking on additional hours. Kasi that move only benefits those who come late. Diba? Whereas those who actually felt the delay, they would not be benefited by that because, again, the voting hours are already very flexible.
Another follow-up. Ano po yung cost of delay dun sa areas na?
Right now, primarily cost of delay na nakikita nila is SD cards, issues with the SD cards. Some of the SD cards are not functioning and have to be replaced. So, again, we're still really pinning down the reasons for the issues experienced by the VCMs. Right now, what we have is that it's the SD cards.
I'm Sheila Casosabo, Philippine Star. Sir, so far, what's your assessment ng election at this point?
Well, in general, because we're seeing that a lot of precincts are open, and we are getting a lot of reports that people were able to vote, were able to cast their votes successfully. We think it's generally successful. However, there are some issues. There are some problems that have cropped up that we are addressing as they are happening. And I think that's the important takeaway here. This elections might be a little problematic because of all the issues that we're encountering, but we are resolving those issues. And that's, I think, the main point.
Good afternoon po. Erwin Aguilon po sa Radyo Inquirer. Sir, may mga problema pa rin kanina, yung mga nawawala po yung mga pangalan. Tapos meron naman po na lumipat na pero naroon pa rin sila sa dati nilang presinto at ngayon naroon sila sa bagong presinto.
Which is it? Nalipat o nasa bago?
Pareho, sir.
How do you mean? How do you mean?
Case ko, lumipat na siya ng presinto, naroon yung pangalan sa bago niyang probinsya, then naroon pa rin yung pangalan niya sa province namin.
I see. So, lumalabas siya sa dalawang lugar.
Oo.
Okay, I don't have an answer to that, but I will check that out. No, I think that's the first time I've heard that today, but that's something that I've already put in an inquiry about to find out kung paano nangyari yun, because we have an atheist system that should have taken care of that. So we'll have to find out. Again, I don't have an answer to that.
So yung ating call center, ano yung mga karamihan po sa mga problema na tinatawag natin sa kanila?
Ang karamihan ng tawag na natatanggap natin ay precinct inquiry. More than 100 precinct inquiries and then a few reports of vote buying and other miscellaneous complaints. But it's mostly precinct inquiries.
Hello, hi sir. Good afternoon. I'm BJ Pakungan from Vera Files. Sir, tanong ko lang po yung reaction ng Comelec dun sa pinost po ni Francis Tolentino regarding dun sa parang sinasabi po niya na pag hindi sa mga supporters niya, hindi daw po nakita yung pangalan niya dun sa ballot, pipicturean up nila yung ballot. And also, if let's say they voted him, hindi nila nakita sa resibo, pipicturean din dapat nila. But parang hindi po allowed yun, diba?
Yes, bawal ito ng filled up ballot. So, or receipt. So, I don't know. I would not do what is recommended. No. Yes.
Hi Sir Paterno Esmael from Rappler. Sir, kanina sa ANC na mention nyo na 400 to 600, ang issue doon ay na-place yung mga VCM na yun. Nung binilang po mula nung 2016, 188 yata na-replace on. So parang 3 times ito. Paano sir nangyari yun? Hindi po ba tines po itong mga VCM na ito? Masusi nyo naman tinignan yung mga source code, lahat. Paano po nangyari yun na 3 times yata ang tinitaas ngayon, sir?
That's a good question. And we will have to figure that out, no? But in order to figure that out, we're going to have access to the machines that have been taken out of commission. So alamin muna natin. Ay hindi ako comfortable magbigay ng sagot just like that kasi kailangan natin malaman ano exactly ang nangyaring problema. But you're right. It seems na mas mataas ang incidences ngayon ng problema or issues cropping up with the machines. However, having said that, let's take into consideration also the scale of the problem. No? We have again more than 85,000 units, and the problem area is we're looking at about 400 to 600. In the overall scheme of things, that's still a very small number. But you are absolutely right. It's larger than what we saw in 2016, and therefore it is a bit jarring. It is a bit surprising. And I understand how people would feel that is not the ideal situation because, well, obviously it isn't. So we will look into that and we will keep you apprised of our investigation.
Sir, follow-up lang. Pwede pa ba natin sisihin yung Smartmatic dito o hindi na dahil binili na ng Comelec yung mga makina? Comelec na lang po ba yung pwedeng sisihin ng publiko kung sakali?
Ang Comelec naman palagi ang responsible. No matter what elections, no matter who our partners are, the buck ultimately stops with the Comelec.
Sir, one last, for Director Arabe. Ma'am, kanina po sa social media may mga nag-react dahil sinamahan niyo raw po si VP Binay at meron naman daw pa kung protocol yung Comelec na nakalagay dun sa inyong general instruction. So, how would you explain this to our audience? Why did you have to accompany the Vice President?
Oo, kasi nagpunta siya dito. So, it so happened na kami lang ni Director James ang nandito. And in order for us to know the true facts and so that we can also address his complaints, we had to go personally to the polling place to talk to the electoral board. And luckily, the election officer of Comelec was also there. So they were able to handle. Sila na ang nag-handle ng situation. Bystander na lang po kami, ako doon sa polling place kanina.
And I think that's the main point here. No? The main point here is that there was no intervention on the part of Director Arabe in the process, in the solution. It was simply that we need to get eyes on the problem para hindi second-hand yung information na hawak namin.
There was no special treatment.
Not that I am aware of.
Mika.
Sir Mikael Flores as Miki. Sir, how many of the more than 85,000 clustered precincts opened late or are still awaiting confirmation whether they
We're looking at the majority of the regions opening on time. So it's only a minority number of regions that are still ongoing confirmation. NCR, CAR, Region 1, hang on, and Caraga.
Sir, when you say awaiting confirmation, it may have already opened but have not
Yes,
received
yes.
the report yet.
That we have not yet received the report. Yes.
Ma'am,
Right.
sir, of the 300 to 400 defective vote counting machines, how many have been replaced? And naging problem po ba sa transportation? Because I understand there were complaints that some had to wait 2 to 3 hours before they could finally get the VCM and cast their vote.
Yes, they have been replaced, but in many cases there's been a wait. There had to have been a wait, no, because the machines were being taken from the regional hubs, transported to wherever they were needed. So yes, in a lot of cases there was a few hours to wait.
Last question for Nino. We understand that you mentioned that there was no special treatment to the Vice President, but a lot of people are asking for those who experience glitches or problems, paano po ba yung process? Kanino ba sila dapat magreklamo with the receipts and the machines, etc.?
The way I understand it is it's exactly the same process that's undergone by everyone. That the process of batch refeeding, of replacing the machine in case it's the machine that's at fault, be able to do a second chance at feeding the ballot. This is the same process that applies to everyone. I guess the only difference is that someone from the actually went there to figure out what was going on. And again, that was absolutely necessary because the man came here. The man came knocking on our door and then, you know, raising a complaint, and that's fair. Again, there was no special treatment in the sense that nothing was given to him that wasn't or that isn't being given to everyone else. So,
Just to answer the question on process on who to go to when you have a complaint. First, it's the electoral board. And then they can go to their DESO or their the supervisor of the polling center. And then they can also go to their local government, their election officer.
Sally Bueno from WIC. Sir, may report din kanina na hindi nabasa ng DCM yung balota ni Senator Grace po. May report na po ba kayo dito kung ano yung naging problema at kung na-address po ito?
Sa ngayon, ma'am, wala pa akong karagdagang information tungkol dyan. Ang alam ko lang na si Senator po ay umuwi rin pagkatapos. So, patuloy naman nating iniimbestigahan lahat ng cases saan hindi nabasa yung mga balota.
Malis siya, iniwan na lang niya yung
bumoto. Ayun pala, mayroon siyang information. Sige.
So, na-address na.
Nakaboto na po.
Na-address pala.
Yeah, she was able to vote according to reports. Wala naman siyang reklamo na ipinating dito sa amin.
So, fake news pa na yan, ma'am.
I think that the machine was not able to read it the first time. And then, inulit na lang niya and then nabasa naman.
Thank you.
We will find out kung meron ng ganun. Pero so far, we haven't received any complaints from candidates.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Miss Lea H. Okay na, Meng?
Yung sa case ni Congressman Fernando na ipinita yung kanyang balota, may violation po ba siya?
Bawal po magpakita ng balota, ng filled up ballot. Bawal din magpakita ng resibo. So, yun, bawal.
Decision sa sarili niya.
Kanya-kanyang depensa lang yan, pero bawal.
Joyce Adra po from DCXL. Possible po ba na mag-declare ng failure of election doon sa mga areas na nag-open ng precincts?
Ang failure of elections pa din deklara if it's no longer possible to hold free and fair elections. Delays are not necessarily a cause for failure of elections.
Sir Jamie Kito from DJME. Follow-up ko lang. So kung bawal magpakita po ng pagkakast na ano po yung mga sanctions nila? Ano po natin ito ma-address yung mga kandidato na
Again, it's not allowed by law, no? It's an election offense. So, if someone files a complaint, then he has a problem.
So, parang Comelec yung pwedeng...
Hindi ko po nakita eh. So, it will have someone with personal knowledge of what was done.
And of the report, followed by Patricia from TV5.
Sir, good afternoon. Sir, please enlighten us the public. After 6 p.m. tapos na tuhan, ano na po next process? Yung pag-convene po, kailan po? Then second question, sir, you just mentioned earlier na yung 100% na overseas voting ay tapos na. What's your assessment? Yung kamusta sir yung naging voting ng ating mga kababayang OFWs?
Hintayin natin yung assessment ng overseas voting. Kapag na natin dito yung Office for Overseas Voting. Sila may first-hand knowledge tungkol sa mga kaganapan sa overseas voting. Doon sa unang tanong mo, after 6 p.m., ang mangyayari, magkakaroon ng bilangan. Magbibilangan ng boto. So, may prosesong pagdadaanan yung makina kung saan mag-iimprenta na ngayon siya ng 8 election returns. 8 election returns na yun yung paunang print-out ng makina, i-distribute yan sa mga named recipients na nakalagay sa batas. After which, magkakaroon ng electronic transmission and then magpiprint ulit ng 22 additional copies. After that point, tapos na lahat ang election, magsasara na yung presinto. In the meantime, pipick upin na natin ngayon yung resulta sa canvassing track. Ibig sabihin, nasa municipal canvassing na tayo, then provincial canvassing until finally, aabot yan dito, probably within 72 hours, dito sa National Board of Canvassing.
Hi, Sir. Patricia from TV5. Sir, balikan ko lang yung malfunction sa VCM. Are these the same sets of VCMs from 2016 from Smartmatic? Hindi po ba issue na luma na ito gamit na function?
Kailangan tingnan natin kung talagang factor yan. But yes, these are the machines that we use.
Sir, wala namang issue last time before we purchased it.
Hindi ko well, before we purchased these machines, they were brand new. But we did use them in 2016, no? So again, I cannot rule out that possibility. So right now, we will investigate.
SMNI, follow up. Hi sir, may na-report po sa amin sir na nag-brand out po sa Ligas. After ng brand out, ilang polling precinct po ang hindi na nag-function yung mga VCMs. Maliban po sa doon sa Legazpi Albay, may nakarating na rin po ba report sa inyo na nagkaroon ng brownout sa mga polling places po?
Wala ako na monitor na report sa brownout, and in any case, that's an interesting report because the machines are off grid. They do not need main power in order to function. So, alamin natin kung ano nangyari specifically dyan. Because in the ordinary course of things, kahit mag-brownout pa yan, tutuloy yung function ng makina.
Sheila, follow up.
So, may report kayo ng mga teachers who did not report for election duties?
Expected natin na magkaroon ng teachers. Hinihintay natin yung report from the command center kung ilan exactly ang kinailangan sub or ma-substitute ng mga replacement. Wala pa tayong figures na ganyan. Medyo we have our hands full with the rest of the elections pa.
Mayem, hi Maling.
Sir, tatanong lang po kung meron din kayong reports ng mga BRBM units na hindi rin function.
Meron tayong reports ng BRBM units na nagka-issues in their operation. Yung issues na yon range from yung mga voters hindi alam paano gamitin all the way to yung BRBM talagang hindi nag-function. So we're collating the reports even as we speak. But it seems like in a lot of cases, recourse was had to the EDCVL, no? Yung manual means of checking yung identity ng voter. So it will be very interesting to see how that pilot test turned out.